Welcome to Selfish Confidence, a place where we can connect and be real about how hard it is to be your damn self. My name is Jess, and my goal is to help you build confidence and belief in yourself to live any life path you want, even if it's unconventional. It's time to flip off societal pressures and connect with women who've also felt on the outside by their life choices. We're here to encourage you to grab the mic and speak your truth. I know it can be scary, but we're in this together. Let's get started. Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of the Selfish Confidence Podcast. It is a fun day up in here, like a fun day to be recording an episode, but extra fun because we have a really fun, I'm really into the fun today because when we're recording this, it's Friday. So fun Friday, and welcome. Aaliyah, what's up?
Hi, Jess. Oh my gosh, it is a fun Friday, and I'm back again on your podcast with no voice.
Oh, girl. She did this on purpose. So for those of you who've been around for a really long time, Aaliyah was the very first guest I ever had. We went through a podcasting course together and we're like, let's launch our podcast at the same time and let's be each other's first. And it was so beautiful to do. And a few weeks ago, she said, hey, I want to do like a reboot, come back. And it's been 2 years. I said, me too. Let's freaking go. And so Aaliyah's here 2 years, almost to the day. 2 years later. How you feeling?
Oh my gosh, Jess. It feels so surreal that it's been 2 years. You swiped my podcast guest card.
I sure did.
You took it away, snatched it right up. No, but it's been awesome to just be friends with you and to see us both growing over the last 2 years. And I feel honored to be back on your podcast. Especially with now in the season that you're in and just the growth that you've had. It's just so beautiful and I love you so much. I always support you and I feel good. I'm so sorry again, guys. I don't have a voice, but you know, we had to relive it. We had to make the most of it. And I decided to go to Jonas Brothers concert last week and watch the Taylor Swift movie, the Eras Tour film last night. So, you know, we just are a concert out and
living our best life.
Exactly that.
I love it. And it's just authentic. So if you go back and listen to the episode from 2 years ago, Aaliyah also didn't really have a voice. So I think you did this on purpose and I'm down with it. Like, let's just relive our whole experience of 2 years ago.
2021. Let's relive 2021.
October 2021. What's up? But it's so funny because yesterday I decided to sit down and listen to the episode. I was like, you know what? I just want to like feel it. Like, what did we talk about? Where have we gone? And like all of these things. And I am shocked at how good that episode was because it was the very first time you being interviewed and me being an interviewee. And it was just, I was just so surprised how it started out so strong.
It's crazy that we think that because we're beginners, we're not going to be good at something. And that's like the reality for most things. But then when you go back and you listen, you're like, okay, no, there was some substance there. Like we did a good job. Like we put out some good content and it wasn't just like filler and fluff. And if we did like mess up, like, so who cares? Like whatever. And then we probably will listen back to the old episodes and think, okay, I could have done this different. This is how like things have changed and evolved, or I do this better. I ask questions this way. It flows a bit better. My outro is different, whatever it is. We found the things that we needed to tweak, but like, even just looking at it, we did something, we put it out there, and we are still here 2 years later. And so it's freaking awesome.
Yeah. I just couldn't believe that, like, because I always think I'm like, oh, cringe, the beginning. Like, you don't want to listen to that. Like, so embarrassing. But I think it was really eye-opening for me to listen to it again and be like, actually, like, this is a really awesome episode. And I'm excited to see how it's evolved for you. So
yeah.
Can you give us an update on the last 2 years? Like, what has life looked like? What has changed for you? I know this question makes you so uncomfortable because it did for me when you asked it to me the other day. So it's your turn. Says you go.
Okay, so I don't even know like where to begin the last 2 years. 2021, what was I doing with my life? Oh, okay, great. So I had just moved from North Carolina back home to Florida. And I was living with my mom. I was trying to do this whole entrepreneur thing with my network marketing company. I was doing it on my own, wasn't doing like, it didn't have any other source of income. It was the sole source of income that I had. And honestly, now 2 years later, it is not my only source of income. I went back to work, but not in corporate America. You will never catch me there ever again. I work at a gym now. I'm the assistant manager. I absolutely love what I do. My mental health is better than it was back in 2021. And I'm just, living life, trying to make strides towards whatever it is that God's purpose is for me. So a lot of it is centered around fitness. And that's what network marketing was for me. Like that was what it was centered on. And so obviously I went back to a gym. I'm like, okay, let me see if I can like work here. So I started part-time, worked up to assistant manager. Now I just got recently certified as a group fitness instructor. I'm working on my personal training certification right now, as well as my behavioral change specialist certification. And kind of really moving towards that realm of life, I guess, and in terms of my career. And I don't even know if I really should be sharing this with people because it's not even like fully like developed, but I am working on a coaching business as well of my own to help people in a holistic kind of way. So it's not just physical health, but also the mental health and your spiritual health. Because my faith is like super important to me. And for me, that is like the true way to live, is just having all of that taken care of. When we work on our bodies, we're able to go out and deliver or give out whatever it is that God has planned for us, as well as if we're taking care of our mental health. Like that's why I left corporate America. I was not doing good and it wasn't something that I enjoyed, and life is meant to be truly lived. And so yeah, I feel like I'm going on a tangent here,
I
but
love it.
basically that coaching business is underway. So you might see some stuff in 2024.
Woot woot.
But yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at. I am trying to figure out what it is that God has for me and just taking it one day at a time.
Okay, I have a question for you because I knew you made that transition from entrepreneur life to a job, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell me how that helped you have stronger mental health? Because I think sometimes society tells us that one is better than the other, and I don't think that's the case. It's all about your truth, and I loved watching you do that transition because I know entrepreneurship sucks sometimes, and it can be really stressful. So how has that worked for you, and how has that helped you to live your life more authentically?
Yeah. So, I mean, entrepreneurship is hard, and that's why it sucks, because nobody wants to go through hard struggles. Nobody wants to struggle. If we could like pick the choice of struggling or like floating through Candyland, we would go through Candyland because
Yummy.
nobody wants to do the hard stuff. And it wasn't that I hated it. I actually loved being an entrepreneur, working for myself, setting my own schedule, but I think it was just too premature for me. And I didn't have the skills that I needed in order to take my business full time. I didn't have the time management right. I wasn't really doing the activities I really needed to do. And I needed income. So I went back to a job, and at first it was really hard to even like make that decision because I was thinking, what are other people going to think of me? They're going to think I failed because I tried to do something on my own and it's not succeeding, or I feel like I'm failing and I'm financially struggling. And so I decided, just, you know what, who cares what other people think? I'm still going to have this business on the side. Having a job actually gave me more structure in my life in terms of, okay, this is the set time that I'm working. I know what hours I have to dedicate towards my business, because when you have all the time in the world to set your own schedule, you're like, oh, I can do it this time, or I can do that. But then things come up, or you think, okay, I'll just set today for errands. But then, like just things pop up and you never really end up doing what you're supposed to do. So I thought, okay, if I have a set structure of when I'm working at another job, I commute time, whatever, I have this amount of time to work on my business, then that is what I'm going to use it for. And I'll be the most time efficient ever. Did that actually happen? Somewhat, to some degree it did. But that's where it really started and stemmed from, was like, I need more structure in my life. And that's why I decided, okay, I'm going back to get a job. The reason why I chose a gym was because I love fitness. I love being in that atmosphere. I love being in that environment and helping people. I'm a people person, like through and through, and I want to hype people up. I'm the official hype girl. So just seeing people coming in day after day after day, that's motivating to me in my own journey as well, to see like, oh my gosh, I know this person. They come in every day, they work hard, and they're working for a better version of themselves. They're working to maintain their muscle or even build muscle. They're working towards, living a longer life. And that's just something that I want to be surrounded by. And it was just inspiring. And so, in terms of that, that helped my mental health way more than a desk job. And don't get me wrong, I love cubicles, which is very
Wait,
rare.
what?
But I know. I love an office cubicle. Like I decorate it myself. I loved it when I worked in
Okay.
corporate America. But I didn't like what I was
Mm.
doing. And our team was very small. My boss started being condescending towards a bit. It was the pandemic. Everyone was stressed. And it just was not conducive to my mental health. And so I needed to get out of that and it's a total 180 being in the gym environment where everyone is like looking to better themselves. And my team is just so much fun. I bring the fun too, but we're all lighthearted. And so it's been amazing for my mental well-being.
I love that. And I love too, because when you were listing off all the things you're doing, like, hey, I used to work in a gym too. So I always loved having regulars. It was so fun to just like see people come in. So I totally get it. But you're also doing all these certifications. And it's so interesting that when you're essentially busier because you work more hours, you're doing all of these other things on top of that. But when you just have one thing to focus on and that be the only thing, it's like an hour a day can sometimes feel like the hardest thing to do.
Yeah.
But when you're busier, for some reason, it's like the ball rolling, that compound effect. You can just do all the things. So I love what you're doing. And I love watching you take that step. And if you go check out Aaliyah, she like makes videos while she's at the front desk. And I think it's hilarious. She's saying like hi to people coming in and telling her life story on Instagram. And I think it's so funny. So I have a question.
Yeah.
Is your inner mean girl still there?
Oh, she is alive and well.
She is there. Do you remember what you called her name?
No, I don't remember her name.
Okay, so our first episode that we did together was all about befriending that inner mean girl. And I think that's some of the things that I want to bring back up because I know she didn't go away. She's still here. She will never die. But your mean...
Bertha, is it?
No, but I love that. Yours was named Bethany.
Wait, oh, I remember this now because I know a Bethany.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Okay, I remember. I might rename her, but
you can rename her.
Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm. Mine was named
Macy.
Macy, and people still ask me like, "Hey, how's Macy doing?" I'm like, "Who are you talking about?" Funny. So Bethany and Macy, they have died, and there are new mean girls who have come in.
Yes. Oh my gosh. And they're meaner, they're crueler, they're worse, honestly. But
because I thought they'd get better with age, right? And they didn't.
Yeah, you think? No, they're like milk. They spoil. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I she's still here. But I feel like we're getting along a little bit. We're working through some things. And I feel like she won't be here for too much longer.
You think she's gonna go away?
I think she'll be quieter, to be honest. I think that she'll learn her place and there's a time and a place for things, Bethany. And
Bethany's dead. The old Taylor can't come to the phone right now because she's dead. It's same with Bethany, right? So
yeah, exactly.
How has that relationship with this new mean girl changed with your growth that you've had and these changes that you've had in your life?
Honestly, I would probably say over the last year or so, it's been more apparent that obviously like that voice inside my head, I know it's the enemy. And whenever I can pinpoint it, it's like, okay, this is the reason why, like, whenever I can pinpoint it, I know that it's not coming from God. And I know that it's coming because it wants me to stop and that this is truly something that I need to be doing or working through or pushing for or I guess really making way towards it, like showing it for other people as well. Like it's not just for myself. And whenever I can pinpoint and realize, okay, this is not coming from God. This is something that is supposed to keep me stuck, keep me in one place, not allow me to succeed, not allow other people to see me succeeding, allowing me to stay stagnant and being in myself and really involving myself in whatever's going on in my world and not recognizing the bigger picture and that my life isn't just about me, it's about other people. Knowing that helps me be like, okay, no, we got to get out of this. We got to either put on some worship music. We got to go like talk to a friend that I know is like really built in their foundation with God. We need to take action towards whatever it is that I'm trying to stop myself from taking action on, or figuring out what that limiting belief is and why do I believe that? What is the exact opposite? What is the truth behind it? And so over the last year, it's been a little bit easier to figure out okay, if I feel oh, I'm not good enough, nobody's listening, it's okay, no, let's go back and let's look at it. One thing about my podcast, it's I didn't even realize this until I went to Greece. I was coming back and I was oh, I gotta edit this podcast. Let me even just see my analytics, because I just never look at my analytics anymore. I love people and I love the content that I put out there. I love numbers as well, but I never really care too much about the numbers when it's connected to my content, because I just want to make sure that at least somebody hears it. And so I looked at it the other day and I was oh my goodness, people are listening. People do care. People love what I have to say. Or I have one of my friends who listens to me regularly, and she's messaging me, hey, I was listening to your podcast today. And that just fuels me up so much. And so whenever that voice comes or the enemy tries to stop me and say nobody wants to hear about this topic, what are you even talking about? You're just rambling, which I do often. Or if I just feel nobody's listening, it's no, there's evidence, there's proof there. And they just want, the enemy just wants me to stop. And the inner mean girl just wants to be loud. And it's no, you got to sit down, take several seats, be quiet, go sit in a corner, think about what you've done.
Time out, baby. Time out.
Yeah.
It's so interesting too, because we always go to that thought of nobody's listening, or nobody's out there, or nobody cares. And even just today, I saw a comment on Facebook I could listen to you all day. And I was ew, really? That's so crazy.
Right?
But it's the truth. People do want to be a part of your life. And whether you have a podcast, or you're putting stuff on social media, or in the office, wherever you are, at home with the kids, people want to hear you. They want to be a part of your life. And maybe it's not everyone. And if it was everyone, that'd be freaking exhausting. But there are people out there who want to be a part of your life, and they want to hear what you're doing. So just put it out there, right? And just focus on what the message is and what that piece is. Because even Aaliyah and I were just at an event called Empower Her. And one of the speakers, we talked about this the other day, one of the speakers, she mentioned that fear doesn't exist when you're thinking about just yourself. It's when we're thinking of what other people are thinking. When we're thinking about, what are they going to do, or the judgment of others. If that didn't exist, we wouldn't have the same level of fear that we have, or the inner mean girl that we have. And I just thought that was so interesting, because we always put it on other people. What are they going to say? What are they thinking? Yep. People are going to judge that I went and got a job. People are going to judge that I failed. And I just think if we could just step away from that, it feels so much better. I think our inner mean girl would be quieter.
Flip the script.
Yeah. Flip it for me, Aaliyah.
The script and
flip it.
Flip it and reverse it. Instead of even just thinking about what are other people going to think in terms of oh, if I go get this job, if I go back to school, if I do whatever. It's flip the script and saying what are they going to think if I don't do it?
Mm-hmm.
The people that you are supposed to help, the message that you are supposed to spread, the way that you're supposed to live out in order to inspire someone else to go do the same thing, or even something similar. Be oh, because you started that workout program, I decided to do this. Or because you went back to school, I decided I wanted to go do this course, or whatever it is. Think about the people that you are passing up that aren't truly going to know what is out there, what is available for them. Another way to live, or an escape, what is it called? Not route. What is it? Escape plan. I don't know. Exit strategy. There you go.
I was going to say escape room. I'm like those puzzles.
Yeah, I know, right? But people wouldn't know what is possible for them if you also stay stuck and stagnant. Maybe you are the person that is supposed to set the way for them and be that inspiration, be that role model, be that person that they can even just talk to and ask a question about. And it doesn't even have to be right now. It may not even be 2 months from now. Maybe there's someone you're supposed to help 20 years from now. And if you stay where you are and you don't take action, you don't do the thing that you are set out to do, you get in your head, get in your own way, you will never help them. And they are counting on you.
Whoa. Whoa, Aaliyah, can you tell I'm just sitting over here crying, absorbing that? Because there's so many things that I will put myself step back for. And you just saying that, even if it's 20 years from now, someone needs you to do the thing that's on your heart. Go, girl. Oh my gosh.
And even all of the things that you've already experienced in your life, like it's crazy because we can all have shared experiences. We can all go through public school or private school, whatever. We can all go to college. We can all whatever. Again, I can't think of like examples, but we can do things that are similar to other people in their lives. And you're like, oh, I'm no different from her. But trust and believe you are completely different. Like you have a different experience. People need to hear it from your perspective. Your life and your struggles and the things that you accomplish, the good and the bad, they are there for a reason. And like you're going through life for a reason. And again, it's not about you. And I don't mean to sound like rude, be like, your life's not about you, like chill out. But and because we can get so consumed in ourselves, but it is about whoever you're supposed to help. I believe that we're all here to serve other people in some kind of way. And to that point, it could literally be 20 years from now. We'll never know, but we have to continue on and keep striving and going after our lives that we want to live in order to fulfill that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Like, it's such an important reminder, and I don't often think about it like that. So thank you, Aaliyah. Oh, dropping some truth up in here. I have a question for you. Truth bomb. I have a question for you.
Okay.
Do you have any advice? And you gave some advice in the last episode. So if anybody's like, I want to hear where you guys were 2 years ago, go listen to it. I'll put it in the show notes for you. But do you have any advice for someone who's trying to build their confidence, who's trying to build whatever it is that they want to do, but the judgment of others, the voices in their head, and all of these things, they're just holding them back from taking even a step forward? What would you tell them?
All right. So
all right.
This is yeah, I know. I'm like, whatever this is, like moving my hands real quick, trying to think, muster up something. And the advice I'm gonna give is advice I need to take myself too. Because I want to make sure that I'm also being, practicer of what I'm preaching.
Practicer. Actioning?
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, basically. Basically, the thing that I would say, the advice I would give is that you have to first have that confidence in yourself before you worry about what other people are thinking of you. And the way that you build that up is like the seemingly insignificant things you're doing day to day to day. For me, even this morning, it's just like, Aaliyah, you're saying this, and it's so funny because I didn't do it this morning. And I knew it. I had this thought, snoozing your alarm. Like if you set an alarm, you set that intention, you are making yourself a promise. Hey, I'm getting up at this time. And when you snooze it, you're breaking that promise to yourself. When you keep it and you keep that promise to yourself, like, okay, I've got a win under my belt. I can do this. And then when the next thing on your to-do list, you go and do it. Okay, check mark. I'm keeping that promise to myself. It's like whatever Keisha says, I'm putting like tokens in my confidence bucket or whatever. And you build your confidence up that way. More and more and more, that the promises that you keep to yourself, the more confident you are in your abilities, what you're capable of doing. You really truly know, like, learn who you are, how reliable you are as well. And when you say you're going to do something, you're actually going to do it and follow through. And as that builds, you have that confidence to know what you're capable of. And obviously, sometimes we have hidden capabilities that we have no idea about. It takes other people to bring them out of us, or we underestimate our capabilities. But you'll be able to have like some kind of foundation of that. And from there, then you can think about, okay, what are other people going to think? It's like, I don't care what other people think. I know what I'm capable of. I can go and do it.
Yeah. I have a question for you. So this morning you woke up.
Yeah.
You hit the alarm. You hit your little snooze.
I did.
What did you tell yourself when you hit snooze?
I'm not keeping the promises to myself. I got to get up.
What would you change? Like, what would you tell yourself instead?
Honestly, the reason why is because I went to bed late and I still was striving to wake up at a certain time with minimal sleep. And I knew that last night when I set the alarm, I was like, oh, I'll just 5.5 hours is fine. No, it's not. It's not
your human design. I'm just so curious. Can you survive on 5.5 hours sleep? Because I can't.
Absolutely not. And so I told myself, okay, I'm not keeping the promises to myself. We have to do better. And I also at the same time was like, okay, sleep is important. Obviously, like I will not be able to get things done if I don't have that adequate amount of sleep. And so going into tomorrow, going into the next day, this weekend, next week, I need to schedule and allocate the time. Obviously, things might come up, but having that and just knowing, okay, when am I sleeping? What is my nighttime routine? How am I going to not snooze the alarm and just feel refreshed when I wake up and ready to go? that's kind of what went through my head, was like, okay, I'm not keeping the promises to myself. How can I improve this so that it doesn't happen again, so that I am building that confidence? And even then it was like, okay, this is just one instance. I'm not saying that for myself for the whole day, like, oh, I don't know how to keep promises to myself, like I'm not consistent. It's like, okay, no, the next decision that I make, the next thing on my calendar, the next thing on my to-do list, keep that promise to myself and slowly build that confidence up.
Yeah, girl. Yeah, I love that. And I was just so curious because I know even as podcasters, we can sit here and give the advice like all day long, but we're living this too. Like we live through struggling with our confidence, through figuring things out, through sometimes hitting the snooze. I don't set an alarm, so I never have to hit the snooze alarm. So that's great. When you get old, I'm not that old, but you just like naturally start waking up at the right time. So,
Yeah.
that's where I'm at. And just roll with it. But I love that you could shift even how you talk to yourself, even in like that, because I know we beat ourselves up like, girl, like, why didn't you get up? Why can't you do this? It's so simple. Like, it's not that early. Like, we just can beat ourselves up. But if it's like a friend, the opposite, like, I could totally tell you, like, Aaliyah, it's totally fine. You need sleep. 5.5 hours is nuts.
Yeah. And even an example with my mom, she so for the last 2 weeks, she's been taking care of my grandma down in Fort Lauderdale. My grandma fell at the beginning of this month, and so my mom like raced down there to be with her. And my mom has a conference this week, so she had to come back up to Tampa. She was here for like 2 days, and then she had to turn around and go fly out to Atlanta. But she usually puts out YouTube videos and podcasts and stuff like every single Sunday. And she's like, "Oh, I haven't done it for like the last 2 weeks." I'm like, "Mom, you're in a different season of your life right now. You have like, it's okay that you are not performing at the same level that you were when you were in a different season." And that's something that we need to constantly be reminded of, because we can hold ourselves to the standard of when we were in a hustle season. When we're in a slow season, it's like, I'm not there anymore. Okay. So things are going to be a little bit different. And it's not saying to slack on yourself. It's not saying to give yourself excuses. And you have to recognize for you what you can do and what you can put on your plate and what you can push yourself to do. But at the same time, recognize that there is room for you to rest, and there is room for you to be in a different season and not hold yourself to the same standard. Me right now, another example is just like, I used to go to the gym 6 days a week and I love working out. I do. And then there was a time in my life where I didn't work out, but like once or twice a week, and I would beat myself up for it. But now I'm getting to the place of like, okay, you know what? I showed up this week. Or if I don't, it's like maybe I'm moving into a space where I only need 4 days to work out each week and not 6. I don't need to go as hard, or I don't need to do this specific type of workout. I'm in, like, we move in different seasons all the time. And so we want to make sure that we aren't holding ourselves to that standard of a different season, and we're not beating ourselves up for it. We're giving ourselves grace.
Oh, yeah. I just struggle with that too because they're like, oh, well, I normally have so much time for this stuff. Or like, why aren't I doing this? Like, I can really beat myself up knowing it's a different season. And I love to look at it as like summer, spring, fall, winter. Like, it really does help to see it like that because the trees are dying out there. Well, just the leaves are dying. The leaves are dying and they're going into a season of rest. And we just don't do that for ourselves. Our North American society is like, all the time, go, go, go. And I love looking at it as seasons and being able to give myself some grace. I need some grace. Yeah. Can you tell us, Aaliyah, where everyone can connect with you online? Where can they find your podcast? Where can they check out the episode 1, 2, I think it was 3 for you, 2 for me, back in the day, and then now where we're at?
Yes, yes, yes. So you guys can connect with me on Instagram at it's Aaliyah Jade. So ITS and then my name, Aaliyah Jade. On Instagram, on almost any social media, Twitter, which I don't even use, which is now called X. TikTok, it's official Aaliyah Jade. Not that I post that much. Anyways, besides the point. The official Hype Girl podcast. It is available anywhere that you listen to your podcast, Apple, Spotify. Those are like the main ones. But pretty much anywhere that you stream your podcast. The official Hype Girl. I do also have an Instagram page for the Hype Girl podcast, but it is not updated regularly, and I'm going to keep it real with you. So don't even feel like you have to go follow that account. But if you want to, it's the.official.hype.girl. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yes. I it's so wonderful to go on this journey with you and just to watch all like the roller coaster. And I've been able to hug Aaliyah in person twice now, which is beautiful. But it's just like to watch you shine has been just so much fun. So much fun.
I love you. I love you so much.
Are you ready to answer the questions that you've already answered once before?
Sure.
You ready? Okay, so what is your favorite compliment to receive?
Oh, I remember this. I don't even remember what I said.
I do.
Was it something about my smile?
It sure was.
Okay, I do love that compliment, but if I had to give a different answer, it just makes me feel so giddy, and it's a little vain. I'm so sorry.
Don't
But
apologize, girl. No.
When I'm at the gym and someone says like, "Oh, you look jacked."
That is a good compliment.
Oh, I love when people compliment me on my progress in the gym because I want to be strong like AF and I want to have definition, and so I'm working on it. But that's probably one of my favorites. It'll make my entire day too.
Oh, I love that. Oh, yeah, that is a good one.
Do you want me to flex for you?
Yeah, please do. You look jacked.
I'm kidding.
She has a jacket on, so I can't really see, but you look jacked.
I love you.
What do you do to boost your mood when you're feeling grumpy?
Oh, I'll put on some tunes. I put on some music. I love music. Movement, like I love to dance. So whenever I put on music, I'm dancing around. It'll definitely boost my mood a bunch. And that's why I have the official Hype Girl playlist on Spotify. It's full of tunes that I enjoy that hype me up. Also, any guests that I've had on my show, any songs that they've recommended too. And so that's always a good vibe. I love me some Justin Bieber, Sabrina Carpenter, Taylor Swift.
You did say Justin Bieber last time. You said he was your favorite.
That's my guy. Always and forever a believer.
I love it. And what is a song or quote that boosts your confidence?
A song or quote that boosts my confidence. That's a good one. I quotes come and go all the time, I swear. And now whenever you ask me for one, I have no idea. They're just gone. My favorite of all time, and I don't know if this really boosts my confidence, but it is something I love to remember, especially if somebody asks me for a quote. It's by C.S. Lewis, and it says, "You are never too old to set another goal or to dream a new dream." And I think that's important for all of us to remember as we continue to age, and society's timeline is always pressuring us to do whatever. There's like time for you doesn't mean anything. Like it shouldn't mean anything. You can literally do whatever you want. Dream a new dream, start all over at age 40 if you want to, at age 55, whatever. And you're not too late. You're not too old. Like time has not passed you by. You still have time. I don't know if that boosts my confidence, but it's just something I love to remember.
It's such a good reminder because I think we do get so caught up in time and society's timeline that at this age, I should have this or I should do this or I should do that. It's like, F that. Like, we'd feel so much better if we just lived on our own timeline. So I love that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Aaliyah, for being here again, for sharing your truth, for shining with us and showing us what 2 years can look like when you dedicate to your growth and to your confidence.
Wild. Jess, wild.
I know. I love you so much.
I love you so much, and thank you again for having me. It is always an honor when I can be in your presence because you also radiate so much, and I love it. I gravitate towards you because you're just so beautiful, so amazing.
Wish we were together in person again so I could give you another hug.
I know. I love hugs. So.
And see you again in another 2 years.
Oh, yeah. Let's not wait that long, though.
Okay. I'm gonna leave you hanging because I think you're a good winger. You're a good wing girl. Chicken wing, hot dog and bologna. Okay. Chicken and macaroni. You know the one? What? Wasn't that all over social media for a while?
I've never heard that.
Chicken wing, hot dog and bologna, chicken and macaroni, chilling with my homies.
This sounds like a Gen Z thing.
I'm a millennial. Thank you very much.
I know, but I have no idea what that is.
What?
Chicken?
Maybe it's a Canadian thing.
Okay, maybe it's a Canadian thing. I love me some Canadians, so.
Okay, well, we'll go with it. I'm going to ask the audience. I'm going to use this clip and ask the audience who knows the chicken wing song. What's up, sis? I am so glad we could hang out today. If you love this episode, send it to a friend or share it on your social media and tag me so I can personally thank you for helping me sprinkle some confidence in the world. And don't forget, you are magic. Let's show the world your shine.